Hey guys, so just a quick message before the start of this video. I mentioned in my last video that I would be doing a giveaway for getting 50 subs, and so I've decided to give away my Master 160, which you guys might have seen in one of my earlier videos. It's a Master with all security pins in it, and it's a pretty fun pick, decently challenging, and it's actually the first lock with security pins I ever got open. So if you guys like, subscribe, and then drop a comment in down below in this video, you'll be entered into the giveaway, and I'll do the drawing next Friday and post the winner then. So definitely make sure to do that and enjoy the video. How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to try to pick an American 1100. Probably one of the most difficult locks, if not the most difficult lock that I've ever gotten open. I've had a good amount of practice with this particular one at this point. Probably been working on it for a week or two. And after, probably 2 to 3 hours, it took total for me to get open for the first time. And at this point, now that I've had a good amount of practice with it, I can pretty consistently get it open. But we'll see if I can do it on video. One of the bigger challenges with this lock was even just trying to figure out how to get it so that you guys could see what I was doing while I was trying to pick it, just because of the way I hold it. But so what makes this lock so challenging? First off, just the bidding of the key. Probably a bit more extreme than I've seen on some of the other American locks I have. I have a 3, including this one at this point. And as you can see, it's not, as extreme of bidding that you'd see on a challenge lock, but it's still, for just a regular lock, pretty radical, especially this 5th pin here, which I think is a really high cut spool. That was really difficult to get before I kind of figured out where it was and how to get to it. But I guess I'll show you that it does in fact work. And even the key is just like difficult to get in just because it's so jagged. But so as you can see, it does work, but we won't be needing this today. So another thing that makes it difficult is the tensioning. I've seen people tension these a lot of different ways. I'm sure you guys have as well. I personally just use the just a Peterson. I think it's just a Peterson pry bar. I think that's what it's called. I know it's from Peterson, and I just use top of the keyway tension like this. Makes it kind of difficult to tension at first until I got kind of used to it, keeping the light tension while still holding on to the lock. Because while I do like heavier tension on some locks, like master locks for example, I do think that this lock benefits from pretty light tension. And the other thing about this lock, this one especially, is that the core is just extremely kind of jiggly. I'm sure there's more jiggly ones out there, but it makes it difficult to hold the tension wrench in there. It really muddles feedback because it's difficult to tell if you're getting counter rotation on a spool or a serrated pin, or if you're just moving the core around. And so I also think it makes it really difficult to hold the tensioner in there. I've gotten a bit better at it, but I almost constantly would drop the tensioner in the lock, or out of the lock rather. And especially when I was about to get the lock open, it would just come flying out and I'd have to start over again. But it's been a few minutes, and I've just been talking here, so why don't we get picking? So, light tension. Gonna try to get so you guys can see what I'm doing and still be able to get this open. Alright, so let's try this out here. So we're just gonna move back until we feel a binder and just try to get, there we go, 3, get a click, 2, get a click, move back again. I think there's a click on 3. And we'll try not to overset anything. I do it pretty constantly on these locks just because every pin is a serrated pin, and the driver pins, which are the bottom ones, or I'm sorry, the key pins are also serrated. And it makes it really easy to overset these. Click off 3 again. try to go in the back. Oh, click on 4. Big click on 4. Is that 4? It's 4 or 5. Big click, turn over the core. We're probably in a false set, which is where you want to get with American Lock. You want to work your way up. At least what I do is I take the short hook SS Dev. At least that's what I call it, the short hook. But it's an SS Dev, the smallest one. Pretty small, allows me to, gives me enough room to work in here. I get the serrated pins with it, work myself up to a false set, and then I take the, not the deepest hook SS Dev, but the medium one, and try to get whatever spool's there. But let's make sure that we actually are on the spool right now. So, and then one of the most difficult things, yeah, we're definitely on a spool. I already feel it. I think that's 5. Oops, I think that's 5 that we have some counter rotation on. So hopefully I can get this open. I find it so difficult to do the counter rotation with this and without dropping this, and getting the lock open itself. So hopefully I can do this thing flying out. Counter rotation. Yes, okay. Definitely set that. Felt the core move. The lock should be open now, and what I've learned to do is open it with 2 hands, because it lets me do it without it going out. And one of the other challenging things that I wouldn't expect, or I didn't expect at least with the American Lock at first, was the fact that it's really hard to tell when the lock is actually open. And I remember the first time I got this open, I actually spent probably at least a few minutes trying to pick it while it was open. Like the shackle hadn't come up, but the lock itself had been picked. And I thought I wasn't feeling any feedback, so I figured I overset something, and I was about to completely restart my progress, but I just decided to try to use heavier tension, and the lock just opened. So I'm not sure why it's so hard to tell when it's open, but it is. So even with American locks of all kinds, a lot of times when I set a pin, I push on the tension wrench a bit just to make sure I didn't just open it and couldn't tell. But yeah, so this lock's a pretty big milestone for me. Definitely the most difficult I've gotten open. Completely filled with security pins. I might cut ahead in a bit to me gutting it, but I've actually never gutted a lock before without it being a disaster. So we'll see if I do that. Alright, so we actually managed to get this thing gutted. This is actually the first time I got a lock open and gutted it without it being a total disaster. So we're making some progress here. Just looking at the pins, as we can see, it's pretty much standard for American locks. We have the serrated key pins, serrated spools, the regular serrated pins. I was really surprised to see exactly how many serrations are on these pins. It's pretty crazy that there's 4 for each of them. One thing of particular interest for me was the this very high cut spool in the back, which we could tell was there by the key, if this will focus, as you can see. And the very back of the lock, there's that very high cut pin, so that was pretty cool to actually see. But now we're gonna have to try to get this thing back together, and which I'm not gonna do on camera. I'm actually just looking at a Helpful Lock Pickers tutorial here, and he is taking me through this so that I don't make a disaster of it. Alright, we managed to get that back together without the world ending, so that's pretty good. That's actually, as I mentioned, the first time I've done that. Usually it's exploded everywhere and just been a complete disaster. So, pretty big milestone. Got a lock taken apart, back together, and it still works. So that's pretty good. In the future, I will be doing the gutting while recording, if that's what you guys would want. Definitely drop a comment. Let me know if you prefer me to have the gutting just in normally, if you want me to like edit it or fast forward it, or if you just don't want me to show it at all and I can just skip to showing you guys the pins. Because I'm not really sure what to do there, so I definitely appreciate your input. Another thing is that I know the lighting still kind of sucks in here. I'm trying to figure that out, but on some days I just have to work in here instead. So I think I'll probably try to figure out a better lighting situation so you guys can see what I'm doing. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to like it, drop a comment, especially about the gutting, and if you guys want to see more stuff like this in the future, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks.